Hi, welcome to the vlog. So let's talk today about respectability politics. Respectability politics is when any kind of minority group tries to align their interests or demands or lifestyle with that of the normative group. Today I want to talk about the respectability politics that go on with specifically bisexual women. I am a bisexual, pansexual, queer woman, and for a long time I thought that in order to be taken seriously or to be properly represented, I had to present myself as someone who wanted exactly what straight people wanted, right? I felt bad a lot of the time because there were all these things that were like, oh, just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean I want threesomes, like go away, or just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean that I'm polyamorous, or just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean I'm a slut, or like all these things where it wasn't enough to just be bisexual, you had to be bisexual and also live this like weird upstanding life. If I portrayed myself as anything less than a model upstanding queer person who wants to like get married and adopt a baby, then I'm bad for our cause, and I'm bad for, trying to gain acceptance for gay people. And I think the crux of the argument is like, you have to have respect for people who want to live lives that you yourself wouldn't choose to live. Even like I struggle with the prominence of gay marriage as a queer issue, right? Because it's lovely to have the same rights as straight people and to get gay marriage, but part of me feels like it's tricked gay people into thinking that we should just be fighting for the bare minimum in order to like fit into straight society in this way that like maybe we weren't meant to. For me personally, it's tough because people are like, oh right, like just because you're bisexual doesn't mean you want to like have threesomes. It doesn't mean that you're in open relationships. It doesn't mean that you want a guy and a girl, right? You like want respect. And like even if I did want those things, which I do, I think people that are new to this channel, you're in for a real treat. Like, I felt bad about myself because I wanted those things that I had to pretend not to want in order to be taken seriously as a bisexual woman, as a person. There's this like weird defensiveness that especially bisexual women have about being objectified. And I get it, I totally get it, and I don't want that either. But I also feel like we're so defensive and we're rushing to like pretend that we are like straight people, and it made me feel very bad about myself as a young polyamorous queer person because I didn't fit into that. I didn't fit into this like Norman Rockwell mold that we were trying to like shove ourselves into. When people are like, people think that bisexual means slut and like we don't want to be called sluts, so like you're not a slut, right? It's like I'm not gonna live my fucking life so that someone doesn't call me a slut. Oh, the slutty bisexual, that's a cliche. But like, okay, then I'm a cliche. I don't know what you want. Like, you can't assume that of all bisexual women, but you can't begrudge and shame bisexual women who are that way. It's just like so exhausting to fight this stereotype all the time and then be like, yeah, but that's like, I'm having fun. Like, I don't know, it's part of my like life. I struggle with it on JBU a lot, right? Because there is this pressure to be representing like the entire queer community. I don't want people to get upset that I'm a cliche. I don't want to be a cliche. I don't want to make things worse for other bisexuals by continuing this like stereotype of like the slutty bisexual. But I also don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with being slutty and like enjoying sex, or whatever the term slutty means. Enjoying sex. I mean, I made a BuzzFeed video about if I'm a slut or not, and like in the end I just decided like it didn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, I enjoy having sex. People enjoy knitting. Like, everybody's got fucking hobbies. But I also know, as someone who is in the media representing queer women, that I have a responsibility to represent them in a positive way and in a way that is truthful. But I also don't want to like suppress parts of my personality and pretend that I'm this person that I'm not, or pretend that I'm this like, you know, heteronormative, mainstream, accessible person that I'm not, and I may never want a life like that. So it's just very interesting, the fine line between being myself, and then also, you know, I get nervous about what may be rightful criticism of, you know, playing up this sort of slutty bisexual stereotype. I like showing that it's not bad to like sex, being open about that kind of thing when like so much is put on young girls, especially, to play this game or pretend that they're not interested in the things that they're interested in. And it contributes to rape culture, and it contributes to problems with consent and getting clear consent between especially young men and young women. And like, I just, trying to be as authentically me as possible. I have personally like taken on the word slut as like, who cares? Like, okay, whatever. Can't really hurt me with information that I already have, as if I don't know what my interests are. I want to be intelligent about it. I also struggle with being a good representation of a queer woman. But is that all? To bring it back front, respectability politics. Is it all me trying to please this sort of mainstream idea of what a woman or a queer woman should be and want? I don't know. I'm sure I would have better things to say and more things to say if I wasn't just rambling. But I think it's just a lot of thoughts that I've been having lately, especially as I go into like meetings or like playing myself in stuff, or like writing roles for myself, or people writing roles for me, and like what I want to show. And as I get more and more popular on the internet and on television and blah, 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 if it's like people will criticize me for playing this stereotype. That is me in my real life, and I don't want to feel badly about who I am because I spent so long doing that. Was that an intelligent way to end that?